Namaste. I'm Evita Miriam, and I want to talk to you about the times we live in. I'm going to give you an esoteric arithmosophy interpretation of what everything means, the coronavirus, our times, the labor of Hercules it is related to, which means its mission. There is a mission behind everything that happens. And I will talk to you about the cycles according to the great masters that we are going through, and so that we may interpret the present and the future as well as possible. So let's start with a little bit. I will share a little bit of information about the United States of America. The United States of America being the leader of the world, it has a very important role to play. As you know, the American people have always been in an adolescence, a young, hopeful nation, believing that they are the liberators, they are bringing freedom to the world, bringing peace, the protectors. That's why they're related very much to Archangel Michael. But right now, the American people are going through a phase that is going through pain, unfortunately, and what is happening through the coronavirus. They're going to get to know themselves better. And this is the entire purpose for the whole of humanity, is to know ourselves better. And I will show to you how this comes out arithmosophically. Look at this. Okay, not the cycles yet, but look, for example, excuse me, let me find the right. All right. United States of America, okay? United States of America has the number 4884. It doesn't matter, the numbers do not matter so much. What matters is that whatever has the same number, has the same potencies, has the same qualities, and is related somehow, even if sometimes it's the opposite. The opposites are so closely related that sometimes they do have the same number. As I never calculate anything negative, I wouldn't know much more about that. I have all my last decade of research on esoteric arithmosophy has been on positive and wholesome ideas and not any negative concepts. So the United States of America have the same number as knowledge, because, and this relates also to their labor, to their mission. I will explain to you why. To Shambhala. Shambhala is a place in the higher planes where the teachers are, the great teachers of humanity. To the Blue Pearl meditation, that is the name of a meditation that my teacher, Master Choa Sui, has named. And in this meditation, we are united with our higher soul. This is the true meaning of the word yoga. It is to unite with our soul. We are not just the body. Not only we're not the body, we are the soul, and we have a body. So also to Savitur. Savitur is the sun, and it is also, this is also related to the prayers for the sun to purify humanity. And to the number 33, if we write the number 33, then that is the master number of selfless giving, because the United States are in essence the nation that are going to be, through selfless giving and through their labor in Hercules, which is about service, going to be the true benefactors of the world in the long run or in the short term. We cannot know the divine plan exactly. No human being, no astrologer, no numerologist, no one can tell you exactly what will happen. This depends so much upon, first, the divine will, and second, the human collective consciousness and will. We as humanity, we're perfectly capable of bringing peace upon earth if we wish. So, and It's not going to happen through a revolution or breaking down everything. It's going to happen as we one by one awaken to our own love for peace and 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 love and joy and happiness, abundance, prosperity, education. You know, if we become peaceful beings, then the world will change automatically. So the divine plan for the United States of America has the same number as Aquila constellation, which is again, Aquila is the eagle. The eagle, as you know, in the it's a symbol of the United States of America, right? So Aquila constellation, also the eagle, symbolize the teachers. The Prince of Peace is Archangel Michael, that shows the United States, how should I say it, protective quality, you know. But also, you know, that it does need right now divine protection, but it does have it. Reincarnation and Goddess Hathor are both related to souls that have been lost and that are seeking, that are not seeking, but that, you know, could go to the light. Goddess Hathor is an ancient Egyptian goddess that was helping the souls to transition. We're not in ancient Egypt right now, but the thing is that when we just have to make the connections, the interpretations have to be upon the qualities of the words, right? And Imam Mahdi, for example, he's the prophet that the Muslims are expecting to come, like Christ. He's the second coming of Christ for the Muslims. And of course, this is within the divine plan of the United States of America, because the Muslims have been, not the Muslims, the United States of America and the Muslims have been a little bit in a conflict situation, you know. And I think that all these situations will be resolved eventually through the coming of the Christ and through the coming of their prophet, which we will see, you know. It will come in our hearts. First of all, the Christ will come in our hearts. So the work of the United States of America is related to the labors of Hercules, to the isosceles triangle, which relates to the Great Invocation, and to September 2020. Now, September 2020 has the same numbers as, I will tell you about the labor in a moment, but September 2020 is related to the labor of Aquarius, cleansing the words, the word and number, September 2020 has the same number as cleansing the Augean stables, which is a labor of Hercules in Aquarius, in which what happens is that Hercules goes to a higher place, and from there he sees clearly that this accumulated excrement that was in the Augean stables could not be cleansed by lower methods like shoveling. You know, it will take eons. So he went up to a higher place, which symbolizes his higher self, you know, and he saw the rivers, which are other symbols of our energies, and he let these purify the accumulated dirt. And this relates to the cleansing of the astral plane. So this is related very much to September 2020. Now, about the labors of Hercules. There's so much here, but you know, there's no point in telling you all the arithmosophy of the United States. All the arithmosophy of the United States, which I'm examining today, right? I'm not examining every country. The arithmosophy of the United States relates very much to the labor of Hercules in Gemini, the golden apples of the Hesperides. And this is also arithmosophically the labor of the coronavirus crisis, the coronavirus pandemic. And it all is connected to the United States. So I'm not saying it is the fault of the United States at all. I'm just saying that the United States may play a role because there is a reason, um, a psychological reason, there is a meaning, there is something that has to be done in order for humanity to be healed, not only physically, perhaps, um, you know, we will find some medicine for the coronavirus physically. I'm talking about spiritually, because once spiritually, mentally, emotionally, we are healed, everything will pass. Everything has a deeper meaning and cause. So the labor of Gemini is a labor in which, I will describe it very quickly, in which Hercules has to undergo 5 tests. The first test is to fail. It's normal, it's okay to fail, you know, he fails he doesn't listen to his higher soul's advice, to his teachers, spiritual teachers' advice, and he fails. Although he feels that he should follow the advice, he just doesn't do it and he fails. The second test is when he has to overcome glamour and illusion, the serpents of glamour and illusion. Now that is, he does that by bringing it to the light, by seeing what it really is, what glamour and illusion is. Now, glamour and illusion is overcome a lot by suffering. And the past 10 years of a financial crisis for the world and also for the United States of America have been a way for glamour and illusion to be overcome to a great extent by its people. The desires, the aspirations, the material aspirations and desires of the people are no longer the same. And people perhaps have seek deeper meaning. So the third test, let's move. The third test is about leaving behind the false teacher. Now, for the entire world, I believe that there are so many falsities that have been abandoned, so many things that were fake, so many fake gurus, so many, and so much spiritual truth that is wholesome and good that has shown and shown how it is the truth. Because, you know, we during the 70s and 80s, people were searching for the same meaning, but there was a lot of, but not lie, but glamour, you know, and a lot of glamour and um, a lot of people who, just because they wanted to believe that they are amazing or they have the most incredible spiritual experiences, would not hesitate to lead groups, entire groups, even to suicide, you know, in the past. You know that. So now we have true teachers, like my teacher, for example, Master Choa Kuk Sui. There are true schools of spiritual truth, and the Christ, you know, and all religions are shining in their truth. And we're starting to see that it doesn't so much matter what religion one has, as long as they're in the path of rightness, of goodness, of kindness, of love, and peace. So this is like leaving behind the false teacher. And then the next test, during which we are, I believe now, is healing and freeing Prometheus from his chains. Prometheus was suffering from, was chained to a rock, and the vultures would eat his liver during the day, and then at night his liver would be reconstructed, you know, and then again he would have his liver destroyed. Of course, this is all a metaphor, right? But the liver ailments are the ailments of anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, fear, ego, you know, all these ailments that are related to the liver, that are also related to the Scorpio constellation And the Scorpio constellation is another, the Scorpio labor of Hercules is another labor that is truly major in the coronavirus crisis. But the essence, I mean, the Scorpio constellation has to overcome greed, money, desire for power, excessive sex, hatred, envy, pride, arrogance, cruelty. All these pride, arrogance, cruelty are racism, right? Are, people not accept, not being all inclusive. So these are the Scorpio tests, and they are included, and they fit completely because it's the other serpent of, of Hydra. So they fit into the labor of Hercules because there are the two serpents. There are three serpents actually that that are in the labors. So. And then when he passes that and heals himself, heals Prometheus, which means himself, and frees him from the liver problems, then he moves to get the apples of the golden apples of the Hesperides. And as he's going to get them, and he's very close, he sees his teacher holding the world, Atlas, holding the world on his shoulder. And he stops, forgets about his task, and goes to help. And lost in service, he takes the world upon his shoulders. And as he's lost in service, Atlas goes and gets him the golden apples. And three maidens come with more apples and give him the golden apples. And these three maidens are related to Venus, to the setting sun, and to Erythea, who I think she's keeping some gate, but I'm not going to discuss Erythea here. So he receives the golden apples, and all three of the maidens tell him that, the path to us is marked always by service. And one of the apples has a golden inscription and golden energy on it, service. And it's wonderful, this labor, because this is the labor that leads Hercules and, in effect, humanity right now into the path of discipleship, into the path of conscious goodwill, conscious spiritual growth and attainment. And this is the labor that is going to move humanity toward the first initiation, toward the initiation that will make humanity harmless, not wanting to hurt anything, animal, human, nothing. And humanity shall really attain heaven on earth this way. Now, I don't know how long this will take, but I have a good, I'm going to show you something in the cycles here so that you know where we are. Okay. All right. According to the teachers of humanity, it is very important to be in the flow, in the right, in the right cycle, to know where we are, and to be going with the forces at play. Because like this, we're going to save ourselves a lot of disappointment and failure. Because, for example, if the forces at play are creative and we're in a totally different phase, it's not going to work. And then we're going to be disappointed. And, we're just going to be like banging our heads against the wall. So it's good to know where we are at. And as humanity right now, we are here. So the forces are three. They run through all cycles. The qualities are three. One is crisis consolidation, which means there is a crisis, but there is a consolidation, a solidation, solidity, manifestation, materialization of the idea, the project. These cycles, These are cycles, 9-year cycles from the point of view of the spiritual hierarchy of light, and no one can interpret them. Only the spiritual hierarchy of light knows the divine plan. We aspirants cannot know the divine plan. We cannot. The only thing we can do is address what comes, what happens, in the best way that we know how to address it. But what happens is that there are these 9-year cycles from the point of view of the hierarchy. So when the spiritual, when from God, so when the divine plan wants to download a new era, a new energy, what happens is first there is this 9-year cycle that has three sub-cycles, three-year sub-cycles, okay? So each year has a potency. So the first year is crisis consolidation. It comes down and it becomes solid, and you can see a little bit of the plan. Then the second year, it's tension and expansion. So so the note is sounded, and expanded of the plan of what manifested on the first year. And the third year is emergence, impact on public consciousness. And that is when it impacts public consciousness, and the note is heard by the public, right? And the thing emerges. So what came and became solid on the first year expanded in the second and became awareness, for humanity in the third year. And everything, the 9-year cycle, one 9-year cycle is crisis consolidation. Then the next 9 years are tension expansion. Then the third 9-year cycle is emergence impact on public consciousness, all right? But within the 9-year cycle, we have crisis, consolidation, tension expansion, years, right? Impact on public consciousness, and then another 3. And the first triad, the first 3 years are crisis consolidation. The second 3-year cycle is tension expansion. And the third one is emergence impact on public consciousness. So everything is these 3 forces that play in parallel as 9-year cycle, 3-year cycle, and yearly cycle. So let's see where we are now. Right now in 2020, and the year start on Wesak, on full moon of May, to full moon of May is the year. So this year has just begun. If we think we're halfway through the year, we are not. The year has just begun a month and a half, 2 months ago, the year began. So we currently are in the crisis consolidation year. So it's a new year in the emergence impact on public consciousness 3-year cycle, which is the last 3-year cycle of the crisis consolidation mega 9-year cycle, right? I repeat, in the mega 9-year crisis consolidation cycle, we're in the last 3-year cycle, which is impact on public consciousness, on its first year. So whatever has been building since 2014 that this mega cycle started, that will end in 2023 Wesak, May, is now in its last year when it can act out. So this is a year of activity for us. This is a year when, from the point of the spiritual hierarchy, we will have a lot of things happening that we must address as they appear and do our best, right? And we have to judge what to do, of course. We're in a universe of free will, of course, right? We're in a free will universe, which means we can go against the divine will if we like, but there's the karma, we'll have to pay afterwards. But I'm not talking about those who want to go against the divine will. Most people who will be interested in to watch a video like this will be good people who want to do the divine will. The thing is, whatever appears, if you're, let's say you want to do a project, but something else keeps coming up, you have to observe this and see what it means. Perhaps it is what your heart desires. So this year is a very important year. This is the whole point for me doing this session, was not only to make you aware that this is the time now to battle all our faults of the liver, of anger, hatred, irritability, and to know ourselves. Because actually, the apples, forgot to tell you the most important thing, the apples are knowledge. This is why 4884, which is United States of America, has the same number as knowledge. The apples symbolize wisdom, symbolize actually knowledge. By knowing himself, Hercules moves on to, you know, uh, finding the apples, and then he gives them to the world. He gives that which he has learned, not about himself, but through his experience. By knowing himself, his mission blooms, and then he can give this to the world. And we all have something to give to the world. My mission is to help people know themselves. It is a very difficult mission because everyone thinks that they know themselves. But I assure you that every day, I find out, almost every day, every week, I find out something very important about myself through arithmosophy, through numerology, because this is it's a science, you know. It's not something that is just fun, just something that is, you know, hearsay. Pythagoras used arithmosophy in order to choose his disciples that would come in the inner circle, and numerology also. So, and in my session of Esoteric Arithmosophy on the 24th of July, I'm going to prove that God's existence, the existence of the spiritual hierarchy, and the existence of name makers in the higher planes, mathematically, with simple mathematics that the 10-year-old can understand, with a mind-blowing proof, so that you can appreciate that this is not something that it's mine, I'm making up. It's something that is a universal language that I'm bringing to you. So as my task is very hard because people will think they know themselves, but I'm bringing it to a higher level. You know, I'm bringing it to a level that every person can understand, but at the same time, that every person, if they want, can be a little bit inspired about themselves and know themselves on a different level. I'm not going to tell you, this will happen to you, you will have this amazing job, or you'll have prosperity tomorrow, or, you know, things like that, or details, petty details. I'm going to tell you, or details I mean about your character. I'm going to tell you the one or two things that if you take care of and change, then you're going to balance your karma as much as possible, at least, you know. Then you're going to be in the flow of your own life, and you're going to find your purpose. Because we may be successful financially in a field, but that doesn't mean at all that we are doing our heart's desire. And that's most important, because we need to be happy doing what we love and making money out of it, right? And the way to do this is to really know your inner purpose, your heart's desire. There's no other way. And it doesn't matter if a person is a multimillionaire or if a person is a pauper. What is important is that if this person follows their heart's desire, they're going to prosper, they're going to be happy, and they're going to be serving humanity in ways that are incredible. So what is happening now all over the world is people are becoming more and more aware, and people are becoming aware of new realities like energy realities. I mean, you know, there is pranic healing, and there are there is an etheric body, and there are many bodies, mental, emotional, and we have an energy field, right? I saw this interview of this lady, which was amazing, and she said, you know, why do we believe in the remote control that opens our garage door that sends energy, or in the microwave, you know, and we don't believe that we are alive and vibrant, we have energy, you know. And it's proof that we have energy and that we do have an energy field. And science is soon going to move in that direction, because who is going to prefer to have surgery rather than having pranic healing lifting, right? Why? It's much cheaper, and it's painless. There are so many implementations of energy in our daily life and in our lives to improve our lives. So what I suggest is that all people who have amazing ideas take advantage of this very opportune year. And instead of cringing with fear and shrinking with doubt and creating this poverty thought form that, oh my God, this financial crisis of the coronavirus, we're going to go deep into debt, etc. Instead of that, why don't you think big? Why don't you think that you're going to carry your message your own way to the world? I know people who are doing amazing things right now, like this pranic healer or Hatha Yogi, Amy Williams. Perhaps you know her. She's doing parenting through prana. She just wrote a book. This book is talking about the heart chakra to children. This is exactly what the Lord DK, Lord Joel Kuhl, the Tibetan master, said that we should do with children, that children are thirsting for true education, and that our minds are oppressed and shrunk by the false information and junk they're getting fed into schools, you know, mainly useless information that will be never used, and it's just filling up their memory banks, you know, so that they don't have any more inspiration to learn amazing things like music and calculus. They can learn whatever. Children are super intelligent until we destroy their minds with garbage information. So this is what we should be doing. And children love this book. The parents who have read it love it, and it's educating the parents as well. And she's not only educating the children and the parents, but she's also educating the parents as to how to grow up and be able to raise children, because being a parent is very hard, it seems, you know. I don't have children, but I see all the people I know who have children. They are often getting upset that children throw tantrums. They don't know how to discipline them. It's very hard, you know. You don't want to hit your child. You don't want to shout at them, of course, and they cannot make them stop throwing tantrums. So this is what Amy's doing. She has these programs where she helps people deal with it, and when the parents are calm, then automatically when our aura is emitting peace, then the children are behaving much better and the parents are happy. They're much happier. So she's doing something amazing in the field of parenting. And I'm thinking there are so many amazing fields. Like, are you a clothes designer? You can design clothes that are bright, that are beautiful, colorful, and that, you know, women today, they're so oppressed. They have to wear, if there are women who are active and they're doing, for example, exercise, you know, daily, you don't want to be changing clothes 10 times a day, right? And if you're doing, let's say, meditation, and before your meditation, you have some simple physical exercise where you have to lift your leg up. You don't want to be wearing trousers all the time. And there are so many types of clothes one can design that can be feminine and beautiful, and at the same time contemporary, you know, and even futuristic, and with the right fabrics and the right colors and the right patterns for people who are in the spiritual path, or for people who like to be beautiful and comfortable. In every field, agriculture, prana agriculture, you know, how plants grow without compost, without anything, you know, how amazing biological agricultural cultivations, huge, you can have just by pranic healing and energy. And it, well, I'm raving about pranic healing because I love pranic healing, but it can be anything. It can be, you can be a musician who just realized that pause is more important than sound, and you've made something beautiful, and that changes the way the audience feels, and you can heal people by your music. Bring it out now. This is the year to raise consciousness. And this is the only way to, you know, we don't go into battle with the dark. You know, you can't fight the dark. You bring light, right? So we have to, this is the year, this is the most opportune year. I know that mostly pranic healers will watch this, so they know all that. But what I'm saying is this is the year within the cycles. This is the year. This is the crisis consolidation, active year, the Rajasic aspect of the last part of the crisis consolidation cycle. And after that, in 2023, before Wesak, we're going to have the impact on public consciousness of what we will be doing now and for the next year. And a lot is going to change in the world until then. And it depends, much depends upon our work of this year. And if you think about it, the next mega cycle, 90-year mega cycle, is going to be tension expansion. So whatever is produced now is going to be expanding, and then it's going to be impacting public consciousness in 18 years, or in 12, 13 years, it will start, you know, impacting public consciousness. So perhaps a great, beautiful change will take place in the world. But now we are doing this, and we're doing this year. I'm not exaggerating. This is a very, very important year for humanity. So I hope that we remember, knowing ourselves is our mission, is the apples. We do this through entering, walking consciously on the path of discipleship toward spiritual growth and self-betterment. And we have to undergo certain tests. One of them is to heal ourselves of all anger, irritability. And meditation helps. Twin Hearts meditation is a wonderful meditation that helps immensely to heal psychologically, to calm the spirit, to download good karma, to help the world. We bless the earth. And you can always ask for help from a pranic healer, you know. There are so many centers all over the world where people can meditate and even get a free healing and change their lives, you know, change your life. So whatever you have to bring to the world, don't hesitate, bring it now, and bring it to, without compromise, to its highest level. No compromise, no watering your wine, just put it there, up there, you know. Watering your wine is a Greek expression. I don't know if it exists in English. All right, don't drink so much alcohol, drink water. Don't put wine in your water. Let's reverse it. All right, so that's it, mainly. I don't want to tie you with numbers of correspondences, but you can see, let me just show you very, very quickly. Let me show you very, very quickly, for example, right? Look, the names, the arithmosophy of the, you know, of crisis consolidation is 6996. This is the major number of second ray of Pythagoras, Enoch. I was just reading the archangels' names that were from the book of Enoch. The fourth ray, which is the ray for humanity, the ray of crisis, and the ray of crisis, of conflict, of harmony through conflict. So this is the whole point, bringing harmony through conflict. So this is the way to interpret, arithmosophy. You see what the number means, you can Google the meaning of everything and see what it means. Also, God's command, like crisis, God's command is the command is the first year, the first phase of the Trinity of qualities. And the second one, tension expansion, is 3883, which will begin in 2023 as a 9-year cycle, right? And which will, which has the same number as Pegasus, which is, the winged horse, which also is related to the masters and the teachers. And Archangel Haniel, which is Archangel of love, which is the second aspect, right? Is the middle aspect of love. And emergence, impact on public consciousness, has the number of 10340. And 5-digit numbers are about exactly that, about grounding into the human plane. They're human numbers, they're manifestation numbers. So it's amazing, really. Light, love, and power, again, a trinity, the third aspect, the third quality, emergence, impact on public consciousness, is the same number as light, love, and power. And Patmos Island, which is where the Apocalypse was written by St. John, is another aspect, because apocalypse means revelation. We must not be afraid. We must think it's a revelation that everything will come to light, will be unveiled, the truth will shine. And blue pearl is related to a meditation that unites us with our higher soul, and which is a closeness to the higher soul, is going to emerge, and is going to be, because you see, consciousness by itself is union with the higher soul. And the Lord's transformation, which is related again to another third, and is the Lord's transformation is related very much into emergence, right? So this is the way to interpret arithmosophy. For those who are not aware of this, I have created an app which is in my teacher's name now. I have given it to my teacher, Master Marilag Mendoza. It's in the name of Marilag Mendoza, and it's on Google and Apple Play stores, and it is called Esoteric Arithmosophy, Thoth. It, as you enter your name, it presents all your initial data, which is all as complex as those terms that you saw now, because this is my database, right? But you don't have to understand what it means if you don't want to Google it and find the relations and all that. It also, it has a word calculator in the menu where you can enter all your own data. And from there, you can start having coincidence. If you play a while, after a while, you will start getting coincidence. And then, for example, on the day when I sold the property, the date had the same number as sale of the property of Evita Miriam, sale of the property of Evita Miriam and my sister, because it was both our property. On that day, my mother coincidentally was moving to a new place, and move of my mother to that address, everything had the same number of that day. And many things have, and even some numbers were under which nothing that ever happens, we calculate things, and things that are not meant to happen, they accumulate under one number. It's amazing, it's accurate. It's accurate, and I will prove it to you on the 24th of July. So you have the word calculator in there, and you have a yearly calendar that automatically refreshes itself, so you can know what every month means for you. So you have the word calculator, you calculate whatever you want, your address, your this is for you. Nobody can see this, right? This is not live on internet. It's your own. No one can have access to whatever you calculate. So you calculate um, outcome of travel of Evita Miriam to the Peloponnese, where I would like to go, for example. And then you get this number that is the same as meeting of Evita Miriam with her life companion. So you see that this happens, and then, you know, amazing. If something like that comes up and it doesn't happen, there's a reason for it, because the app shows potencies and not everything. So many times things were going to happen, but I hadn't had the karma bank ready, or I made some, I was, you know, sometimes before very, very good things happen, we're tested, you know, we're tested. And perhaps we don't pass the test, or perhaps we're supposed to meet our companion, but we don't go out of the house. So how are we going to meet him? So it's amazing, the app. Whoever has bought it is super excited about it, and they're, you know, really using it. I remember in a retreat in the New Jersey, I was, everybody at night before we slept, they were doing their earth philosophy. It was wonderful. It was fun. So check it out, Esoteric Arithmosophy Thoth. And I have a group of Esoteric Arithmosophy Thoth, Thoth, on Facebook. So you can be a member and see what is happening. And my website is www.vitamiriam.com, where you can see about my next session, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be, tomorrow, Wednesday, it's going to be Time of Our Lives session, or perhaps it's going to be today for you by the time I post this. Time of Our Lives session, 1 p.m. New York, and it's going to show you what the events of each year of your life will be. Is it going to be a year for property, for money, for love, for adventure, for many changes, for study, for reaping rewards? And you're going to see every year, and you will be able to validate this from the past. So, you know, if you want to attend, just go into my website at avitamiriam.com and register. So, namaste. Hope you have learned something, or you have understood more about where we are right now on this very, very important year of 2020. Bye.